Welcome everyone to, I know you can't really see me very well, the angle, to another edition of In the Kitchen with Gracie and Amy. So we have so many Italian Christmas dishes that my Nonna and my grandpa, I should really start calling him No, but I never did. So my grandpa made when my mom was a kid and her siblings, and when I was a kid and my sibling and cousins, when we would gather together, we used to have a feast on Christmas Eve. I mean, a feast. And then a feast on Christmas Day.
Yes, two feasts.
My Nonna and my grandpa, like they were feeding an army.
Well, they were feeding an army. There was as we grew, there was an awful lot of us.
That's true, because at one point we probably had 30 people in the house or more.
Exactly.
So today my mom is actually going to show us, she's going to teach me, because I've never done this part before. I've never done this one. How to make braciole, the way my grandpa would make the braciole. Now, of course, everyone makes braciole differently. But this is grandpa's version. This is how he did it. We are also going to show you, I'm also going to add to this dish meatballs and sausage. However, I'm not going to show you how to make the meatballs because everybody makes their meatballs differently. Every region in Italy, every, American, Italian American makes it differently. I even make it differently than my mom makes it. So, and I'm trying something a little bit new. So anyway, but I'll show you once we get the braciole made, how we sear it all, right. And then we put it into the sauce to cook in the oven. Yes. Normally you put you do make a big pot of sauce, but I am not a pot of sauce kind of girl. I am a stick it all in the oven kind of girl. So anyway, without further ado, let my mom, she will show me to show you how to do this. Okay, go ahead, Mom.
All right. So braciole was a staple in our household, normally only at holidays that we would make it. Once in a while, my dad would have made a braciole, but mostly holiday time. It was like a special food that we would have. And he would cook, my mother would cook a big pot of sauce, okay, and had her meatballs in there and sausage or pork, whatever she used to create her sauce. And then my dad would add his braciole to the sauce, okay? So the ingredients that you're going to use in braciole is you're going to have a strip steak, or you can cut it off as a roast. Some of the things you can use, kinds of meat you can use, like I believe a bottom round, okay, a bottom round roast that you can either have your butcher slice it, or you slice it about 1/4 of an inch thick, 1/4 to half. Usually it's just like a cheaper piece of steak, a cheaper piece of meat, okay? When you make braciole, because it's going to cook in the sauce. Okay, so you have meat, you have breadcrumbs.
Okay, so I'm going to add, and of course, like we always do, we'll have the recipe on the same our Facebook group as the video. So I'm just gonna pour all the breadcrumbs in there. I'm not gonna measure because really, I mean, it's not baking. It doesn't have to be perfect.
And if you put all this stuff together, like if you don't, it's not, like she said, it's not baking, okay? Yeah. And you can save what you don't use. You can save and put in the refrigerator for another dish. So exactly. You got breadcrumbs. You have garlic, onions, and celery.
Okay. So I got my garlic. So I'm putting in now garlic. And I got my celery. And my onion. Okay.
And your cheese.
Okay. Well, there goes the cap. Oh, let's put that in the. Okay, so
you can also add parsley to this if you have it. You can put parsley in there too. We'll have that on the recipe.
Yeah, I don't. I have parsley, but it's not ground yet, so I don't want to put it in.
And salt and pepper, a little bit of salt because the cheese is salty, and a little bit of pepper because after it's all cooked, then you can add salt and pepper to your dish if you don't find it's flavorful.
Okay, so
mix it all up.
Mix that all up.
Give it a good mix.
Oh, it smells so good.
I have a story to tell after we pound that out. When you do that, now you can in these ingredients, you can, if you would like to, you can fry up or your onions, your garlic, and your celery, and then add it to that if it's something that you would like to do. If you feel that would be better for you to have that cooked.
Okay. You know what? Give me one moment. I just want to put these in the sink because you can't really see everything that I'm doing. Okay. So if I move this, you'll be able to see the steak now, right?
Yes. You know, Amy, that mixture you had, is it a little dry?
It is.
You have to have some water you can put in there.
Yes. Okay.
Not just 3 tablespoons or so, not a lot of water, just to keep it so that you can put it on your steak.
Gotcha.
Because if it's too dry, then you're not going to be able to put it on the steak and let it roll.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Yep. Okay. Okay. Yep. When I pinch it, it sticks together. Okay.
So now you've got that all ready to go. Now you're going to pound your meat so that it becomes wider, okay, and thinner.
Okay. Let's see if I can get this so you can see. You can all see that, right? I mean, you can see that. You all, like you're all telling me. Okay, so I have developed this cool technique. I don't use plastic wrap. I use plastic mats.
That's
so
good.
They're washable, and you're not adding plastic wrap to the environment. Oh, you know what? I'm going to mute this because it's very loud, and you don't need that in your life. Okay.
Looking good. Now, can you pick that up again, Amy, so I can just look at it?
Yep. Hold on.
sure, as that's a big piece of meat, but it'll work fine. You know, it's going to be big. It's, you know.
Do you want me to cut it in half?
Try one. I want to try one because when my father made them, his were small.
Okay. Wait, cut it in half?
No, you know what? Don't. Okay. Now take your mixture. You get a spoonful, and what you're going to do is you're going to spread it across that whole, only in the middle, kind of spread it across the whole steak. Mush it down. You don't want to make it mounded. You want it nice and flat, okay? And you don't need a lot because remember, you're going to roll this. And when you roll it, let me see. Go more towards the end. Spread it out. Spread it out towards the end. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, okay, you got that good. So now what you have to do is before you roll it, get your string ready.
Okay.
Cut about 18 inches just to make sure. Kind of, yeah. Just you can cut it off.
Okay.
So, you ready? Okay, now start from the short end, from the short end of the thing, and start to roll it really tight, as tight as you can.
Okay.
Let me see it. Very good. Now place it horizontal on your string.
Okay.
Now, you got to start at one end. Yes. Leave a tail. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the string, hold the tail, and then you're going to go, tie it. Very good. Yes. And then you're going to go around and around and around across it. Just you don't have to, just go, go around. Mm-hmm. Tightly. Yep. Because you're going to want to then bring your string, across the ends and come back to the other end.
Well, I usually pull the thing so if you guys can see this, because when I tied other things, I tied it at the end, but then I pull it across.
Okay.
And then I wrap it around and pull it under.
Okay. Well, as long as your ends are closed, because you don't want that stuff. You don't want the mixture to come out of your ends.
Yeah, I know. I gotta move the end down.
That's all I'm saying. But what you're doing is fine.
Although be careful you don't knot everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Let us see what it looks like. Oh, Amy, that is beautiful. Gorgeous.
Okay. There's one. Hold on. I gotta put this on the.
Very nice.
There's one.
Second one.
So do you think this is too long? I mean, I can cut it in half if it's too long, if the meat's too long.
Yeah, why don't you cut it in half? Yeah, that's a good idea. Smaller, because you really kind of want to have small pieces of braciole to eat. Some people make a huge piece of meat, huge. They flatten it all out, and then they spread the mixture over the whole thing. They roll it, tie it, and when you slice it, it's like you're slicing it into pinwheels.
Ah.
Okay. But I never remember my father doing it that way. I only remember him making little pieces. Okay, because he had little small, like they were sandwich steaks, or they were chuck steak that was sliced very thin. So that's what I remember that he did.
So you could tell your story while I'm doing this, because this is going to be boring
So
if you're not listening to a story.
so when I was in my business, I was asked by the community college, one of my friends who worked there. She was the person who was in charge of continuing ed, wanted me to teach cookies and also cooking. And so I said, okay. And I came up with a bunch of different recipes. And one of the things that I went to teach the people there, they wanted to make an Italian dinner. And so I decided to make meatballs and braciole. So we go to the class, everything. We make up the mixture. We do the whole class, and we're sitting and waiting for the dinner to be done. One of the students takes the bowl of breadcrumbs and what we call in Italian the mujiga, and she starts to eat it. Looking at her like, what are you doing? I didn't say anything. And she said to me, this is so delicious. I have never tasted anything like this before. She goes, forget the meat. I'm just going to eat this. It was so funny.
Well, there's no eggs in it, so.
Right. It was so funny. I'm laughing. I'm going, oh, I guess. I don't eat mujiga. But it was so funny that she just absolutely loved this mixture. I couldn't believe it. She's sitting there eating it. This was the balance, like the rest of the stuff she took it with. And we were sitting at the table just waiting to be, for the food to be done, because we would always sample our food. Okay. She's eating it. She's munching on the mujiga. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, so I have another story on top of that one. So my dad, this was the thing he made for the holidays. And he would do his, get everything ready and prepared. Well, one of the things that my father always put in the braciole was sliced hard-boiled eggs. Well, you don't know this about me, but I absolutely hate eggs. Doesn't matter what they are. I cannot stand them.
It's not just a hatred. My mother wouldn't even make us eggs as children.
Exactly. I would say make your own.
We had to learn how to make our own eggs.
Yeah. Anyways, so he would slice it, and the very first, he put the egg in it, and I did not know when my dad made this that there was hard-boiled eggs in there, okay? Because I was too little. I was young. And we get the braciole, get a piece, put it on the plate, start to eat it, cut it up, and I'd say, what's this in here? This yellow thing, okay? And my mother, I think, said, it's a hard-boiled egg. Oh my God. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I was not very quiet about they knew I didn't like eggs, okay? And I was not very quiet about it. I got so upset. I started to cry. I don't want eggs. So after that, I had to remind my dad to make mine without eggs because I could not stand it. So they always made one for me so I didn't have any eggs in my braciole.
Okay. So I got that already.
Great.
I'm gonna take a pause. I'm just gonna wash my hands, and then I'm gonna show you searing it and then putting it in the sauce. So we'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, we are back. As you can see, I hope, I've got the sausage and the meatballs and the braciole on my griddle, my nonstick griddle, searing right now. So
Yes.
Go ahead, Mom. Tell us.
Okay, so you know how to cook the meatballs because you've done that a long time. And you let them cook on one side and you turn them over and let them cook on, you sear them on the other side. Sausage is basically the same thing. Sear it. And with your braciole, you want to brown every single, like keep turning it over and over till every single side of the braciole gets brown and just seared. You don't have to be, you're not cooking it like to cook it. Yeah, you're just searing it till it gets nice and caramelized. I'll use that word. Oh, that's a good caramelization. And then when you're done with that, you're gonna take all of your different meats, and you're going to put it into a big pot to cook, a big pot of sauce to cook for a couple of hours. Now, my father used to always put it into the big pot of sauce that my mother started. Okay. And they would cook it on the stove for at least, I was little. So to me, it was all day, 3 or 4 hours. That's all I can remember that they would cook that sauce on the stove. Okay. You could also put all of this into a deep roasting pan or whatever full of sauce and put it in the oven for at least a couple of hours. Okay, so either way is great. It's fine to make the braciole and the rest of your meats and stuff. Either way, okay? You will have to go in there and check it and stir the sauce, making sure that your sauce isn't burning. Because some pans will burn, the sauce will burn because remember the tomato has sugar in it, and that will burn. But that was one of the good ways of putting to cook the braciole.
So I'm using a Pampered Chef deep dish baker, and the great thing about Pampered Chef, I'm plugging it again, is that I've never had sauce burn.
Good. Yes.
I cooked an entire dish of sauce with meatballs, and I cooked it for I think it was an hour. Yeah, it was an hour. Perfect. Came out perfectly. But that's because the clay doesn't allow anything, because it forms a non-stick surface.
Oh, right.
And it allows the moisture to circulate within the pan.
Yes.
So it doesn't it's almost creating like a convection type of atmosphere inside. And with the lid, it actually creates this really nice convection.
And you were going to get some steam.
Yes.
Got that lid on there. Yes.
So it really creates this, it doesn't burn. Even you could cook, I bet if you left it in there 5 hours, you would cook all the water out of it. But, if you're only cooking for a couple hours, it's really, you have to make sure though with this that you have enough liquid, so you can't just put your sauce, you can't just put a can of tomatoes in there without like some water.
Right.
So I got a nice, I think I can just lift this up. Bear with me. Okay. And show you.
Oh, nice. Your sauce.
Sauce. So, okay. So now that we've got this, we're searing it. We're doing a good sear. I think I got them pretty good seared. Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
So I'm gonna drop them into the sauce.
Okay. Are you gonna have enough room, Amy?
I hope so.
If not, you'll have to get another pot.
If not, I guess I won't be adding all the sausage. Or all the meatballs.
Right, or all the meatballs. Oh, that's okay though. You can sear your meatballs, and what doesn't fit in there, then you can just put in the refrigerator and have it as a little snack.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So I got these nice and seared. Oh, it fits.
Okay.
Ah! Throwing them in there. Throwing the meatballs in. Hold on.
Now, when you put this in the oven, you're going to want to you cook it for at least an hour and a half, because you want that braciole to get nice and tender. And unless you cook it for a long time, it will not get tender.
So what we are going to do, we have some other oh yeah, I'm getting it all smoky in here. We have some other videos to show you today, and we have some cookie recipe, or a cookie, and then another version of the Saute cake. Once you see all these, there's going to be a ton of videos. When you see this,
yes,
there's going to be a ton of videos. So we're going to do another video just to show you the finished product of the braciole with the sausage and the meatballs, because like I said, it's got to cook for a couple hours, like my mom said. So we'll show you a real quick reveal. We're going to do a reveal video. So I'll put this in the oven after, but right now, let me just get myself on camera. Okay, so right now we're going to end this video and move on. We're going to, we'll say goodbye, and then we will move on to our next wonderful treats for you. So stay tuned. It's going to be a fun, when you finally get to see all this stuff, you're going to love it. You're going to be like, this is my Christmas dinner.
Yes, we're hoping that we will be able to get everything up on our site so that you can see the traditions of our family.
Yes.
And what we made, excuse me, for our holiday dinner.
Exactly.
Until then, I'm just going to say, arrivederci. See you soon.
Yes. Ciao.